Welcome to another episode of the Offer Mojo Show, where we talk about how to craft, scale, market, and sell aligned and profitable offers. Today, we are going to be talking about a subject that is very popular, AI. And you're going to be hearing from not only me, but our guests today, and how we are using AI in our business, how we are helping our clients use AI, and just how powerful AI can be to help you scale and actually turn your expertise into an AI powered asset. I know that this might be something new for people. Not everybody has fully embraced AI, but I think that it's not going away. So it's something that we need to talk about. And I have the absolute amazing, perfect guest with me today. And let me introduce her to you. Her name is Mallika Malhotra, and she is the brand CEO. She's a brand strategist, speaker, and mentor to bold women entrepreneurs who are ready to stop blending in and start leading. With over 2 decades of experience, including brand work with industry giants like L'Oreal and Oil of Olay, Mallika helps experts clarify their message, own their niche, and position themselves as the go-to authority in their field. She's the creator of the Bullseye Branding Formula, a proven framework to build magnetic, memorable brands, and Lumi, an AI-powered brand messaging assistant that helps women articulate their value clearly, confidently, and fast. Known for her no-fluff membership and strategic mentorship and strategic edge, Mallika empowers women to ditch invisibility and finally be seen, heard, and paid like the experts they are. When she's not building brands, you'll find her sipping black coffee. Yes, that's my girl. Walking her Bernedoodle, Jax, or exploring the world with her husband and 3 sons. So welcome, Malitra, to the show. I'm so happy to have you on. I met Mallika, I would say, oh my gosh, has it been like 2, 3 months? Yeah, like months ago. I think we met like in a networking group or something, and we scheduled a coffee chat with one another, and we immediately hit it off. And our common bond was AI.
Yes.
And we just immediately dove into AI. And so I thought it would be great to have Mallika with us today to have a really just engaging conversation about the world of AI. So maybe you can just start, Alika, but just sharing a little bit about your backstory and like how you got into like branding and how that's even involved into like AI.
Yes. Well, thank you, Lori, for having me today. Love the opportunity to connect with you and share any kind of, experience or expertise that I can offer to your audience. So I have been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades,
Wow.
and you can imagine what that is, the twists and turns, evolving from, one thing to the next. And so I have done everything from selling, handbags and t-shirts to having a photography business, and now currently moving into brand strategy, where, like you said, I help women stand out in their crowded niches and becoming the go-to.
Hmm.
And since I've been doing that work, I've created frameworks, right? Like many of us, you know that you have to create a system that
Yes.
is on rinse and repeat to get your clients the desired results. And you know that when you build that system, you elevate the brand because now you're seen as an expert because you have this proven methodology.
Right.
And so as I developed those systems, as I got good results from my clients and had kind of like a step-by-step way that I did things in terms of brand building, AI came into the picture. And
Hmm.
AI, was at the time kind of like a blank canvas where you were just kind of asking Chat GPT or Claude, with prompts, kind of no direction, and you would just
Right.
kind of brain dump stuff. And then you would
Yes.
get some interesting insights, maybe if you were lucky, but you'd also get a lot of random, generic, information, and it would be like this battle, the back and forth of trying to refine it so you would get what you actually wanted. Is
Right.
that a common experience that you may have had as
Oh,
well?
100%, like 100%. I mean, I would say back when AI first came out, I admit I was very resistant because I'm a very like heart-centered, very authentic, very soulful like entrepreneur, and I also pride myself on being like a really good writer. And so like the last thing I wanted to do was be a fake robot, right? I was like, no, like this is not me. Part of me I think was like, oh my God, AI, what is this? Oh my God, this is so complicated. And so part of me resisted for that reason, but another part of me resisted because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to lose me, right?
Right.
I didn't want to lose my identity, my brand, and who I was. And I think that that's what a lot of people are afraid of these days
Yes.
with AI. So since you're a
100%.
branding person, maybe you can talk about that.
Yes, 100%. I think, when we use AI without structure,
Mhm.
without training it in who we are, what our voice is, what our values are, what our vibe is, then the results, the outputs become generic and we end up looking like everybody else. And that is a dangerous, risky place to be.
Yes.
It's undeniable. And I do
Mhm.
agree with that. However, AI is here and we shouldn't be afraid of it. We should actually learn how to embrace it and how to use it properly. And what I have learned internally in my business using AI for my own internal systems and helping clients, and now externally, creating products using AI bots to help clients, people build their brands, it's all about how you train the AI tool. You
Yes.
have to program the AI in a specific way so that it is asking specific questions and it's then using the user's answers to
Yes.
create the output. And that is where the difference is. If you're just having a random prompt and you're not giving it any guidance and you're just getting that output and you're cutting and pasting it, then you are bland, you are generic, you are looking like everybody else. But
Yes.
if you are instructing the AI with, very specific, detailed information and data about your brand,
Mhm.
if you're answering questions that maybe that bot is asking with very specific information about your authentic brand, even if it's a brain dump, even if there's misspellings, you're giving it the information it needs. And
Mhm.
then if that bot has a framework in the back end that it's pulling the information through, then the output is actually going to be quite rich and robust because there have been rules set. There has
Right.
been a training and a programming set. And that is the biggest difference in terms of output and in terms of process.
Yeah, and I think this is a great example. Let me share, I guess, something that happened to me recently. So, as Malika mentioned, both of us have been creating AI bots for quite a while. I have six currently that are running the back end of my business, and then I have one that's a lead magnet, and then building more for client facing. But one of my back end bots is a social media content writer.
Mhm.
And a friend of mine, another bestie, like wanted me to promote a survey for him. And he had sent over kind of like this generic, post like in his voice. And I'm like, okay, this doesn't like really sound like me. This doesn't sound like something I would say.
Mhm.
So I basically just took what he had written, ran it through my social media bot, and it spit out like a beautifully written in my voice, in my tone, the heart centered, like everything how I would say it.
Yep.
And and I even like had shared it with him before I shared it online. And I said, how does this sound? He was like, oh my God. He's like, this sounds so much like you. And I'm like, it is because I've trained AI
That's
to
right.
sound like me.
That's right. The training is key.
Yes.
And it takes time, right, to train it. But once you have those systems in play, especially in the back end of your business, if they know how you write blog posts, if they know about how you write social media, right? If they know what your process is that you take your clients through, and you can download information and have them generate a report instead of you looking at a blank screen,
Yes.
that is going to save you time and energy. That's going to help you help more clients. So scale your business because you have more time on your hands, right?
Yes.
And so I always say, if you have a framework, if you already have a proven methodology, then you are primed to
Hmm.
use AI to create something either in the back end internally for your business, or also for the front end, where, like you said, is client facing. That
Yes.
now you can package your expertise, the way you do business, and create a bot, AI assistant, whatever you want to call it. And it takes you out of the equation, right?
Hmm.
And that way you can now scale faster. I mean, I have always felt challenged in how to scale my business faster. I didn't want a team of other coaches or mentors under me. I just wanted to
Okay.
keep it simple for me.
Hmm.
I love being a solopreneur, but I can't work with, 50 clients a month and do the
Right.
type of work I want. Now, with my AI tools that I'm selling to the public, my frameworks are baked into them. So it's almost like you're with me, but you're
Right.
not with me, right?
Right.
So it is really a beautiful way to grow your business faster, to scale your expertise, and to, introduce yourself to new audiences, and at maybe a more affordable price point, so more people can actually get the transformation that you do, maybe one to one.
Right. So let's back up for a minute because here is how I see, especially for someone who might be newer to building an AI tool or whatever, right? I feel like before you are going public with AI tools and like actually, using AI tools in your offers to enhance your offers, it helps to practice behind the scenes with your own internal backend business, right? Um, because nobody's seeing that unless of course it's forward facing. So if you've got content creating bots, like I have a blog, a newsletter bot, content creation bot, those of course are partially back end and partially front end because the
Right.
output is going to the public. So I always recommend like start with your back end. But here's what I want to talk about. And I think that this is like something that you can really speak to. One of the most important, I think, documents or instructions or rules or whatever you want to call it, when you've got any kind of bot that is public facing, is your brand guide. So let's talk about that. Of like, because there's a lot of people out there that do not have a brand guide.
Yeah, it is essential if you are
Yes.
programming your bot to have your brand guide. So, what is a brand guide? So, this is the story of your brand, the feeling of your brand, the aesthetic, the look, right?
Hmm.
The depth of your brand so that you
Yes.
can build an emotional connection, right? And so, often we, as the owner of our businesses, we're embodying that brand. So,
Hmm.
if you were to work with me, you would be able to feel that. But if you're going to design an AI bot, to either work internally or externally, you have to create the guide so that you are shaping the bot to be your clone, basically. So,
Yes.
what would that include? That would include, what do you believe in, your values, right? What is
Hmm.
the mission and the vision behind your business? Who is your ideal client that you want to speak to, right? What
Yes.
is the brand personality or the brand voice?
Right.
I even go so far as, what is a certain vocabulary or phrases that you say as a person that you want that bot to say as
Yes.
well?
Hmm.
What are words or jargon that you do not want the bot to say?
Right.
That is even more important. What do you not want it to say, act, or be like, right?
Right. Hmm.
So I'll always say with my guidelines is, no fluff, direct, but still warm and empowering and encouraging. but I don't talk in fluffy words. I
Mm-hmm.
don't use like a rambling, text. It's very direct. I like short sentences or kind of like bullet punch points because that is on brand. So
Mm-hmm.
really the guide is helping the bot figure out what is on brand.
Right.
And forget AI. You should have this for anything, for your website, for your copywriting, for
Yes.
photography, everything. And so, especially for the AI bot, because it can sound generic and robotic, you kind of have to instruct it. So, yes, that is a great first step is to define, it's really your brand strategy, honestly.
Yeah. And, I think what I want to say too about your brand, whether and here's a question I want to bring up because I think people get confused about this. First of all, your brand, your branding is what sets you apart from everyone else out there, right? I mean, there's a million brand strategists. There's a million health coaches. There's a million leadership coaches. There's a million website designers. There's so much. And your brand, your own personal brand, your business brand, all of that is what sets you apart. Let's help listeners understand because there's a lot of talk online about personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between a personal brand and a business brand?
Yeah. So, I mean, for some of us, they're interchangeable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're a solopreneur. So take me, for example. Malika Malhotra would be my personal brand, but my business brand is the brand CEO. But they are, the same basically
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a one woman shop, right? So your personal brand, if you were, let's say, working in corporate, you're obviously not picking up the name of Coca-Cola, but you are a
Right.
person in the company and you have to develop that, edge. What are you known for? Is it because you close the deal? Is it because your team never leaves you and they are engaged and are high performers? So the personal brand in a corporate setting is just as important as the business brand for people like us.
Right.
So basically what it is, it's all the same thing. It is who you are, what you believe in, how you are different, and kind of what you bring to the table that somebody else isn't bringing to the table. So is it in a corporate environment where it's more of a personal brand? Maybe you're a celebrity or an influencer where it's more of a personal brand. But if you're in a business where, it's Target, it's not going to be the personal brand, obviously. It's going to be a corporate business brand, but also will have values and energy and
Yes.
feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a crossover, but I
Mm-hmm.
do think when you are the face of the brand and you're representing the brand, that is where personal and business kind of intersect.
Yes. 100%. Yes. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point because I think, like you said, most of us out here are solopreneurs or have small teams or whatever. That's who my audience is, right? And so
Mhm.
we are not the Coca-Colas of the world, or the Tide or whoever it is. We don't really necessarily know the person
The
behind
CEO.
those right,
Yes.
those big brands.
Right.
Although they do talk a lot about the importance of there being that human element to that big brand.
100%. And I think that's what the gist is that we're saying. So people do business with people and we
Yes.
want to make it less transactional and more relationship based. And
Mm-hmm.
that is when personal and business intersect because you are building a relationship with your audience, with your prospect, with your client. You're hoping that it's not just one job, it is continuous. It's a lifetime of work that you do together that they keep coming back to you, right?
Right.
And that's where that human element comes into play. Now, there are companies that do a good job. So I always bring up the example. So we have Peloton, right? Peloton
Mm-hmm.
is a business brand, but every instructor has a personal brand. You have your favorites when you're going to go, do a spin class. You might like Cody versus, one of the other people because their personal brand is strong. So yes, the umbrella brand of the business is there, but that's where the personal brand shines because you're going to attract the people who want to be with you, even though you are representing a business brand.
Right. Okay, so what we started to talk about was just when we are getting first involved in AI and using AI, we're going to start in the back end of the business, but any kind of public facing output from that AI needs to have a brand, right? It needs to have a brand guide. So like if you don't have, I was actually working with a mentor of mine who was just curious about bots, and he was trying to build a bot to write LinkedIn content for him, and he just couldn't get it to work. And when I looked at like the back end, it's like he did not have all of the pieces in place to give, like, there was nothing in there about his offers, like what his offers were. His brand document was very summarized and just like really like not very robust and complete. So that is key. So once you get like AI working on the back end and you start to experiment with the public output and getting something out there that feels like you're going to be like amazed at like how much time you save. And like, if you're anything like me, and I'm guessing Mallika as well, you start becoming obsessed then.
Yes.
With like AI and its power, right? And then we start to move. What I did is once I got like bots working on the back end of my business, I this is what happened. I hit kind of a wall, right? It was just like I wanted to make my lead magnet, which was a boring PDF that nobody wants anymore. Like people, it's just like people are not like downloading, free PDFs. I wanted to turn that into an AI powered asset, but I hit a wall like mentally. Like it was like, who am I to, I'm not no AI expert. Like, who am I to create an AI powered asset, that the public will use? Like, I'm not do I need to go spend thousands of dollars to have my lead magnet turned into a, GPT? Maybe you can talk about like that transition for you from when you started in the back end, when you started saying, okay, now I'm going to produce something that people in the public can actually use.
Yeah, definitely. So like you said, when you first are testing your internal AI tools, right? Using, it could be Claude, it could be ChatGPT, whatever you're using. It's almost like it's the proof of concept. Actually, this works, right? Now I have a system where I'm asking ChatGPT to do the same things over and over again. And I'm actually getting good results. So there's something here that is repeatable, that it can be programmed. And so once you feel that confidence, then you're like, well, why aren't I taking this system and packaging it for the public? And why aren't I selling this? Because it is my intellectual property that I do a certain way, that now I can create a product, right? But then, of course, you're like, well, how do I even do that? Right? Like, I don't even know how to use AI. I'm not a programmer. I'm not techie. I'm in my 50s. I feel like a dinosaur online anyway. Right. But you learn that AI actually has leveled the playing field because it doesn't require programming knowledge, really. And you can search online or YouTube to get some of these trainings. You could hire people or take courses to kind of get you through how you structure the AI bot. How do you build the AI bot? And, it's not easy in the beginning, right?
No.
And it's a lot of trial and error. But if you have a system, if you have a methodology, it's all about how you take that and you create this automated experience for the user.
Yes.
And so I just want to make sure your audience is clear. When you're saying AI bots, AI assistants, what that really means is We have a product in ChatGPT called a custom ChatGPT, where
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you as the buyer or the user will click a link. That link will populate on your personal ChatGPT,
Yes.
and you will get a prompt that says, "Hi, Lori. Welcome to your brand building bot. Today, we're going to work on your messaging. Click here
Right.
to start." Lori's going to click, and then it's going to take them through a series of steps that replicate my process,
Yes.
my intellectual property, my framework, asks you questions, gives you prompts, collects your data, and then AI is going to quickly and act as a brand strategist or however you've programmed it to
Sure.
be,
Mm-hmm.
to give you an output that is customized to you, the user. So that
Yes.
is what that AI bot experience is like. It is not taking you to an app, at least the ones that we're creating, or some,
Right.
other third party. It's all done in ChatGPT because, let's be honest, you're using ChatGPT anyway,
That's
right?
true. You are.
So once you have that proof of concept, once you understand how to create and build the bot, now you have an opportunity to sell that process to your audience and take yourself out of the equation and scale your business.
Right.
And that's where this using that expertise to create this AI tool is a game changer. So I have worked with clients as well, creating, freebies or playbooks, as, new products that they can bring to their audience
Mm-hmm.
that hopefully lead them to what we want to sell is the one-on-one mentorship, that premium product.
Sure.
But in today's world, I believe, and this might not be a popular opinion, is I think courses are dead. I think webinars, I think, workbooks, they are all dead. They are collecting dust
Mm-hmm.
because AI is giving you speed and it's giving you personalized, customized results. And
Yes.
so I have jumped, as you have, on the bandwagon of how can I take my workbooks, my courses that no one is buying. And if they're buying it, they're not even going through it because you
Yes.
can
Oh my
see that
gosh.
on the
Yes.
back end. And
Yes.
I'm sorry, this is the truth of 2025 with AI in our world. They
Yes.
are not going to go through your course. I don't care how good it is. They are going to rather go to ChatGPT and ask the questions to get results. So why not create a custom ChatGPT that brings your framework, that asks the right questions and takes the answers and filters it through the programming of your system to get them results?
Right.
That's what I'm bringing to the table.
Okay, so I want to go two different directions here. So one, I just want to confirm what Mallika is saying about courses are dead. I have my own course, Aligned Offer Accelerator, right, which is a 30-day program, and I built this course. I even gave it to people as beta testers. People are not going through the courses. I had one guy that was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much, for gifting this to me. Like, I need to craft an offer." And I would say 2 months later, he was no further along than when I had originally talked to him. He had not gone through the course. And if he did, if he listened to the videos, he was not doing any of the work. Nothing happened until we got into one-on-one strategy calls. And I was actually able to talk him through all of the places that he was stuck and actually use AI on my back end to create the offer summary document that he so desperately needed.
That's right.
So I agree. Like, people are not like, I literally even signed up for, and I love AI. I signed up for this lifetime training for on AI. It was like a summit on AI. I have not listened to not one single course, not
Right.
one single one. But if I see an AI bot that I love, like, oh, that looks really cool, that looks really interesting, I will buy it and I will do it immediately.
Right. And I think that's just the trend. Like, people are moving to more podcasts because they can listen on the go. It's
Yes.
convenient, right? And no one really wants to sit and go through modules anymore. And I don't care how good your course is. And I'm sure everyone's course is amazing, but
Yes.
there is a shift. And
Yes.
either we're going to have to embrace it and kind of, bring it into our business, or we're going to be left behind. And
Yes.
I know, as a brand strategist who is older, yes,
Hmm.
experience is my asset. I've been doing
Hmm.
this for a long time, but there's a lot of young people that are coming in. And they're all very visible on social media and all the things. I knew AI was a tool that I had to embrace and include in my business early on and be an early adopter in order for me to stay relevant, in order
Yes.
for me to, be differentiated, in order for
Hmm.
me to like bring to the table something new and
Right.
get results. And so, if you're feeling like that, and I was feeling like that too, how am I going to survive on the online space with all of this new younger talent coming in?
Hmm.
You probably have experience and expertise as your asset. Create an
Yes.
AI tool to help you stay in the game.
Yes. So one thing I wanted to the other direction that I wanted to go with this, because I want to make sure is that listeners understand this, because this is probably the most critical piece. In order for you to have an AI powered asset, and Malika has been talking about this, but I want to make sure that we don't miss this. You absolutely must have your own proprietary framework.
Yes.
Like you cannot create a bot from just something random that you put together that ChatGPT helps you with. You already need to have like some sort of offer where you've worked with somebody or you've got a proven offer that you have sold one-on-one or in group, and you know that you are getting results from that offer. That
Mhm.
framework that offer is built on is what is the base and the foundation of your AI tool.
Yes, 100%. I'm so glad you brought that up again. Because just remember, with these AI tools, garbage in, garbage out. We've
Yes.
all felt it, right? Like, why isn't this working? Why is it we're like yelling at ChatGPT, like, you're not understanding what I'm trying to get. That is because you haven't had proof of concept, proof of offer, proof of
Hmm.
framework, right?
Right.
You need those things in order to get the best results. And please do not build an AI bot that you are going to sell to the public unless you have those things.
Yes, 100%, 100%. So just, we were talking about earlier, like I have my lead magnet, which is AI powered offer confidence toolkit. And it started from my PDF checklist,
Mhm.
right? So there was a base and a foundation of like, what do people need to have in place to have confidence in their offers? And there's a series of 10 questions that I walk people through. Now that AI powered bot does the same thing. It is looking at all of those 10 questions. It's helping users assess all of these things regarding their offer. And then it's letting them know, hey, based on your answers, it's actually better, because the checklist was like, okay, great. These are the questions I need to, and you're kind of internally answering them. But AI is specifically telling you, here's your gaps.
Yep.
Here's what's working well, and here are your gaps that you need to be working on.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
mean,
you could talk about like your lead magnet, which I think is called Snap, right?
yes, it is called Snap,
Uh
and it's
huh.
launching very soon. I mean, you've been a beta tester for
Yes.
it, but it is a brand audit AI tool. So many of us kind of set it and forget our brands, right? We have our
Hmm.
website, our social media, we have a lead magnet, and sometimes they're not cohesive, sometimes they're dated. And so it is that like disjointed feeling of your brand. And what you want is a very cohesive, consistent, tight brand that has one message, one audience, one transformation, right?
Yes.
It's so on point and like very laser focused. But often we don't have that because we're just throwing spaghetti and piecemealing. And so this audit tool, using ChatGPT, is going to ask you certain questions, ask you to put some uploads, take a screenshot of your LinkedIn, your Instagram. Let me, give me the URL for your website. Tell me what your offers are. And then based on my framework in the back end, it will pull all that information through and tell you, here's what's working. Here's what's not working. Here are the gaps. And here is what I can tell you need help with in terms of your positioning. Maybe it's your personal brand. Maybe it's your messaging. Maybe you don't have a framework. Maybe you don't have a signature talk, which are kind of the 5 key elements for brand building in my system. So it's going to bring you through all that and give you just kind of that nice snapshot.
I like that. Yeah.
Of your brand, right? And empower you with the information that you need to do to take action. So super excited about that. I'm kind of just getting all the final details into place with, landing pages that will be coming soon. I just think it's going to be a really helpful tool.
Yeah, I've done it and it was very, very good. Like the questions are very comprehensive. The output was very like eye-opening because like I feel like I think my brand's like pretty on point, right? But when I saw this, I was like, oh wow, okay, those are actually some good suggestions. So yeah, I'm excited for this to come out for you. I can't wait to even share it with my own audience, and we will hopefully by the time this episode comes out, that will be live, and you guys will be able to experience. What I want to do in these last few minutes is talk about share our own personal experiences of what's going on behind the scenes for both of us as we build out our own suite of AI powered tools. So Mallika is building an amazing suite called the Brand Force, and it is 5 AI bots that walks you through her framework of, creating, and maybe you can talk more about this and then I will talk more about mine and then kind of some of the emotional things that are coming up as we get ready to launch these.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. I had launched in February one bot called Lumi, which was brand messaging. And I kind of tested the waters to see, are people getting good results? Is this impactful? And I was, great response. People loved it. It was simple enough where it just focused on messaging. But I knew that there were other parts of brand building that people needed, right?
Yes.
And messaging is one piece of the puzzle. So with the Brand Force, it's actually a system that I'm sharing, my system in brand building, right? So step 1 is positioning, and that's called Sharp. Step 2 is personal brand. That is called Icon. Then we go to messaging, which is Lumi. Then we have Access, which is going to be about framework, and Echo, which is going to be about signature talk. So 5 bots that are very singular, very focused on helping you get to that elevated, more powerful brand. So I'm working on that right now. And, what's hard is the testing, right? It's like first creating it and then you're testing it. Sometimes the output in ChatGPT isn't exactly what you wanted. So then you have to go back. There's a lot of back and forth. And if you're creating 5 of them, you can just imagine, and then you learn something about one and then you have to apply it to 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have to just give yourself time. And I'm so glad that I kind of was loose on the launch. Like I have said, fall 2025 will be the launch of this. And so I've had the time over the summer to play, experiment, build, test, and not feel that pressure to launch. But you also have to know when it's time to stop tweaking and just let it be, right?
Yes.
And I think I'm finally at that stage now where I've kind of hit all the things I need to hit, and I just need to kind of step back and let them be and work on now the assets to launch it, which in itself, as you know,
exactly.
The offer queen is a long, long list. But
yeah,
it's, one of the things that goes through my head is by the time I launch this, will AI change? Will ChatGPT change? And here I've invested time and money in launching this, and has like it expired already? I don't know, but I still am going through the steps. I'm hoping that this will, for the next couple of years, that this will still be the way that we're using AI, but you never know, right? Things
Yeah.
change at such a rapid speed. So that's where I get a little bit like,
Yeah. And for me, it's like I had the same actual question. Like I was just talking to an AI consultant yesterday and was telling her about my own suite of tools, the Offer Mojo Squad, which again is 5 bots that walks through various stages of the offer creation and amplification of those offers, right? And I was like the same thing. I'm like, okay, by the time I like create these, like, what do I need to be doing to make sure that they stay relevant, to make sure that they don't get outdated? And one of the things she said, and again, I'm not like, I don't consider myself an AI expert. I'm probably more advanced than some and way behind than others, right? But she had said, that as long as you're going in and, first of all, making sure that your framework, because we learn things as we go. So we can update our frameworks as we're working with clients. Like I've noticed as I'm building out the Offer Mojo Squad, I've noticed as I'm pulling my frameworks from the Aligned Offer Accelerator, I'm like, interesting. I actually kind of forgot about this piece that I should have included in the Aligned Offer Accelerator. Let me now include it in the Offer Mojo Squad, right? So I think one is just revisiting your frameworks and making sure that you're staying up to date and, with any kind of changes. But she said that it's a matter of like literally going in and just like resaving like the bot, because ChatGPT is updating all of this information all the time. And so it will continually update you just need to go in and like open the bot and resave it so that it stays relevant.
Yeah.
But one of the questions, and I think this is going to be a final like way to close this out, because I think this will come up for anybody who is beginning to create bots for the public. And that is, how do we control like people stealing? No, not so much stealing our bots, because there's a way to like protect the GPT instructions, but like your brand force is going to come out. There's going to be branding specialists that are going to see that and go, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is powerful. Let me just use her frameworks and work with my clients. Same with mine. Like there's, mine's going to come out. There's going to be business coaches that are going to say, oh, wow, this is cool. This is a whole system on how to develop offers and message offers. Let me buy this. Now I can use it with my clients, right? That's the fear, I think, of our intellectual property, like being out there and I'm pretty sure I talked to an attorney about this. I don't think that we can like really like protect that AI like property. I mean, maybe you've heard something different, but how are you dealing with that, I guess, concern in the public?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a fair concern, right? Like we've all worked so hard and have so many years of experience, and we create the framework and now we create these tools. But I also feel like there's no real control, right? Like you, I kind of just have to let go of that a little bit and just let it be. Like I have my framework, I have my way of doing things. And when people work with me one-on-one, they know what that is like. That cannot be replicated.
Yes.
And these tools, it could be just like with a workbook. We've all bought workbooks from our competitors to see what they're doing and right. We've all done it. So this is just, it's not a workbook, it's AI. It's just another new current version of that. And so I try not to let my mind go down that path, because then it's like I'm going to have to protect everything and it feels like a
Yeah,
scarcity mindset. And I think there's going to be enough people that are going to use it and get great transformation and build powerful brands and be able to charge higher prices and have confidence and clarity. And maybe there'll be a couple of brand strategists that use it, and if it makes their business better, great. Like, I just have to let go of some of that.
sure.
I've definitely thought about it. I don't know how I can protect it so much, but like I said, courses, workbooks, it's all books, it's all the same, right? Like, of course,
Mhm.
we're going to have on there, do not copy, this is
Right.
my own. But, once it's out there, it's out there. And
It
you just
is.
got to
It's
let
true.
go.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. I mean, I think just reframing to our work that we are doing in the world is meant to make an impact. And if I make an impact and help another business coach or whatever with my tools, great. If you make an impact and help another brand strategist with your tools, fantastic. You
Right.
know that your work is being used for good. Is it going to sometimes be used for bad? Yes, because that's just the nature of the world, right?
Right.
That we live in. It's not going to all be, there's a balance between good and evil. So if we just stay focused on,
Yeah.
we're putting it out there to make an impact for good.
I mean, I think there are probably ways, like, do you want to license it, right? License this suite and then have a different buying process for people in your industry. That
Yes.
could be a way around it. Yeah. So that they have to pay a monthly fee to use this if they want to. And I've definitely thought of that.
Yes.
But then I've been like, I don't want a complicated business. I just don't. Like, I just want to keep it simple. Buy it, use it, help it build your business, and tell all your friends and let them buy it. So
Right.
I don't know. This could be bad information I'm sharing with your audience, but these are the things that I think about in my head. Is just I just want to keep it very simple. I want to help a lot
Yes.
of people. And this is stage one. Maybe if it gets really, maybe if we're selling thousands of these, you have to revisit it. And maybe there
Right.
is a licensing program or a training program. Who knows what it can turn into? But I think right
Exactly.
now, as we launch, keep it simple, get it out
Yeah.
there, test it, see what the response is, and then go from there.
Awesome. So look for the brand Force to be coming out in the fall. The Offer Mojo Squad will also be coming out in the fall. I'm so, Mallika and I like hold each other accountable. We meet regularly to help move each other forward, test our bots. We're both really super excited for these tools to come out and for these tools to make a difference in everyone's business. Any final parting words that you want to share? I know I will put all of the links in the show notes to contact Mallika. She's at thebrandceo.com. She's on Instagram. Her handle is the brand CEO. She keeps it very simple. LinkedIn, it's the brand CEO also.
Yes, yes.
So,
So I guess just a final thought is, I think AI is no longer an option. AI is
yes.
here, and it's
Mm-hmm.
either you learn how to use it in your business to help you grow your business, to improve your systems. And if you don't, I think you're going to be left behind. I
Yeah.
really think that. So just have a curiosity and an
Mm-hmm.
openness and see what it can do for your business. Test things out on the back end. You don't have to launch anything like we're launching it, but just
Right.
see how you can use it to improve your business, make things run faster, do things better. But again, implement your guide, your framework. Make sure that the AI tool knows what it needs to do.
Yes.
You have to program it. So don't be scared,
Yeah.
of the change.
Just take it. I approach everything with baby steps. When something feels scary or when something feels overwhelming, just take baby steps. Deal with whatever emotions like come up during the process and just move forward anyway. So again, thank you so much, Mallika. This has been an amazing episode, and Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
wait for the brand force to come out. I'm very excited.
Thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you.
Okay.